everyone, I'm back, and today I'm here in my living room, and it's a different setup. So today I'm going to be talking about what to expect in the iPhone 8, which is the iPhone that Apple is expected to unveil later this year, and it's expected to be a major overhaul to the typical iPhone design you see here with the big bezels and everything. That's expected to all be gone in the update as the 10th anniversary iPhone, and Apple wants to make some major changes to mark that 10th anniversary. Now, starting with the first change that we should be seeing in the iPhone 8 is a major overhaul to the front design. So, obviously, almost every iPhone for a long time has looked similar to this. Some have had the square home button, have had Touch ID, but relatively, the front of the iPhones have remained very similar with minimal changes for pretty much their whole history. So Apple wants to make a difference, make a big change, big bold change to the front of their iPhones with the 10th anniversary iPhone by removing the home button and having the screen go down to almost the bottom, except for the 2.5D display part that curves around. So the screen will go all the way down to the bottom. That's what we should expect, and we should also see the screen reach near the top. Except for the sensors, there will be an empty little space to put the important sensors because they cannot yet be all hidden underneath the display. So there will be a little bar at the top, but there will still be some screen space in the left and right top corners, which will probably be darkened and have your standard carrier settings that you have at the top, and your Wi-Fi settings, and your battery life, things like that. So, major overhaul to the front design. Now, with the major overhaul, you're going to notice that some things are missing that are very important there, like the Touch ID sensor and the home button. So what's going to happen with those? How's Apple going to replace them? What are they going to do? So that's what we're going to get into now. So, what Apple is expected to do with the home button itself, so you have a way to get to the home screen from other parts of the iPhone, it's going to be software-based, and there's already been leaks, such as this one, and they show some animated design-like shape that will be found on the screen of the iPhone, so it won't be an actual home button, it'll just be a digital one on the screen. And we have no word yet on whether that will have any touch sensitivity, so we don't know yet if you'll feel a click when you press on it like the virtual home button of the iPhone 7, or if it'll just be like tapping a button on a screen. But what we do know is that the home button will not be physical and have its own place on the bezel. It'll be on the screen somewhere. Now for Touch ID, that one is a large debate. Lots of people have been debating whether it will be underneath the screen or found on the back, which people are really worried about it being on the back because they think it would look ugly. I don't know, I don't like the idea of a Touch ID sensor on the back, but I also don't think it's likely. So I don't think they'll fit it in the back of the iPhone, and they won't put it in a display, I don't think, because they don't have the technology available yet to do so. No tech company does, really. No major tech company, I should say. And Apple's usually late to the game to that. They do more testing, things like that. So I wouldn't see them being the first to bring that out to the market. So I don't see Touch ID being on the front, I don't see it being on the back. And I don't see them removing it in replacement for an iris scanner or something either, as those haven't been tested enough either. So, that leaves us with not much options, but one that's not been discussed much, but I believed it, and I just thought this in my head. I thought maybe they'll put it there in my head, but there was no rumors to back it up. Now there are some rumors out there backing up my idea or my suggestion as to where the Touch ID sensor will go on the iPhone if it's gone from the front. And I think the best place for the Touch ID sensor to be, in the most Apple-esque way to put it on, is to have it on the power button here. You can see here this one. And there would be a ring around the power button, so all you would do is click on the... oh, I got a notification. Let me just clear that out. So all you would have to do is click on here, and then you'd just put your finger over the power button, and it would work as if it was Touch ID and unlock the phone. My Touch ID isn't working too well, so we should hope that this one is better, the power button one. But for my what to expect video, I think I'm going to say expect the Touch ID sensor to not be removed entirely, not to be on the front or the back. I expect it to be on the power button. It seems the most Apple-esque. It's very simple, very easy. It's even easier than the current process where you would sometimes have to press the power button, then shift over to the home button. In this case, you'd be able to just simply, the second you turn on your phone, you'd be able to just put your finger down again and unlock. So exactly like the home button works now, because you wouldn't have that home button on the iPhone 8 to do that. So, that covers that, but another concern is, if you look at the power buttons on the iPhone 6, 6S, 7, so on, you could see that it isn't really that big. Your finger covers it almost entirely, so it wouldn't be a good idea to have a fingerprint sensor on a button that size. So another thing to expect is a larger power button. The power button should go down a little bit further, and the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7. Also expect the power button to possibly be a little bit thicker, as the iPhone 8 is expected to get a tiny bit thicker, so it could be thicker also, just to make sure the finger fits on the power button and make sure that the Touch ID sensor is big enough to read a fingerprint. So that's what I would expect from the design overall, from the front and the sides. The other side with the volume rocker and the mute switch, that shouldn't change at all. And the bottom shouldn't change at all. This is my iPhone 6, so it looks a little different, but on the iPhone 7 right now, there's speakers on both sides, and the lightning connector in the middle with some mics there. And that's how it's going to stay. Same with the top, it's going to be plain with nothing on there. As for the back of the iPhone 8, so that one's very interesting. So there's lots of people that were saying that Touch ID would be on the back, and I don't think Apple's going to go and do that. What I think they will do is they will put the vertical camera, well, they'll put the dual camera vertically, and they'll have the flash in the middle of that vertical camera, as the rumors and leaks suggest. Probably with a tiny mic or two beside that, to make it really as simple as possible, and then just have the little Apple logo in the center and iPhone. I don't see much else coming. They might put a smart connector on so you can connect, like, say, keyboards, different things like that, accessories really quickly. That's all I see for the back. So that's it for really the design changes. Now let's go more into the specs. So the screen on the iPhone 8 should be an organic LED display, probably 1080p, but they might raise that, but I doubt it when you're talking about Apple. And the maximum that they'd raise it probably would be 2K, but just expect a 1080p display that is also an OLED panel. That's what I've seen from the rumors. That's what we should be expecting at this point. And of course you'll have 3D touch in that display. The home button might be 3D touch, but no confirmation on that yet. Talking about the cameras, you would probably have 2 cameras with the same megapixel count as the cameras on the iPhone 7 Plus, just vertically. And this might pose a problem in a way for the zoom, because the 2 vertical cameras will be separated significantly because the flash will be placed in the middle. So that may cause problems with that new zoom feature that the iPhone 7 Plus introduced that was really handy for mobile phone photographers. But in another way, this new camera setup is a positive thing, as it will allow for more VR features and more optimization for virtual reality on the iPhone, and Apple kind of hinted towards this in iOS 11 with their heavy optimization towards VR. And VR is one of the movements of the future for gaming, for applications, for anything really. So I could see Apple easily hopping on that bandwagon in the hardware section by delivering an iPhone with cameras that are highly compatible with VR accessories and VR applications, VR games, etc. Sorry I had to switch locations here. Another thing to expect in the iPhone 8 is Qi charging. And that is a type of wireless charging in which you can sit your phone on a little pad or something like that, or a little table, and the phone will automatically charge by having physical contact with that device. So it'll charge wirelessly without having to plug into a lightning port, and we may also see some faster charging as many Android manufacturers have introduced fast charging on their phones. So that is obviously a possibility with the iPhone, but do expect wireless charging, as Apple has invested deeply in Qi charging recently, signaling that they are looking at wireless charging in their next iPhone to compete with other flagships that have wireless charging, such as the Samsung Galaxy S8 and Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Another introduction in the iPhone 8 that you should expect is IP68 certification as opposed to the current IP67 certification in the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. Now, Apple wants to make their phones even more durable against water so that nobody has to ever worry about water damage to their iPhones regardless of how far the water goes, how far their phone drops in the water. It won't damage it because the water won't get into the phone with IP68 certification. As for pricing and release dates, the price is expected to be high, maybe even starting around $1,000 US, which would certainly cost a lot globally, as most dollars make prices higher in other countries. Like, for example, in Canada, it's more expensive than in the US to get an iPhone. It's probably the same in many other countries around the world, so it'll make accessing this phone, being able to afford this phone, a lot more difficult for people. But that's the unfortunate cost of that beautiful new screen and the whole array of new features that are expected to be seen on this phone. Now, in addition to that, we might see a later release date, as not all the technology is fully developed and ready to be put into a retail smartphone, so the release itself might be delayed until maybe an October event like Apple usually does right after their September event, so we might have to wait until October. Thank you for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to summarize everything that there is to know and everything that there is to expect in the upcoming amazing iPhone 8 that's expected to come with a whole bunch of new features to celebrate the 10th anniversary iPhone. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think the iPhone 8 will be like, and if you'll get it, and just start a discussion about the iPhone 8 in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check the comments and respond and all that. And thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video, and I'm very happy to be back from my YouTube break. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.